Hi, this is David again. I wanted to do a video this morning on why I quit law school. Most of you are going to say because I was too stupid. Most of you are going to say because I was lazy. Most of you are going to say I was on drugs. Most of you are going to say because I didn't want to work that hard. Most of you are going to say that it wasn't easy enough for me to do. I went to Ventura Law School in Ventura, California, and I was there about a year, and I certainly have my transcripts from that. But the point is this, that I was there 1 year. I took several classes in discrimination, most of them, in fact, all of them in civil law, not criminal. I don't have much criminal background law experience. And after a year, I did well. I had, whatever, A's or something in my grades. But I took a hard look at what I had to do to be an attorney. And I don't mean the classes that I had to take or the preparation for a court argument. I took a hard look at me and what I had to do to be an attorney and work in the judicial system. Now, there's some areas of law, like real estate law and probate, escrow, other kinds of bankruptcy that are not basically adversarial. Because I'm a type A personality, I certainly wanted to be in the courtroom. Most attorneys never see the inside of a courtroom. Most attorneys hide in their home office and do paperwork. But I had to take a look at my personality, and I had to take a look at the judicial system. I have had 7 divorces. Basically, I have a little bit of experience in civil law when it comes to family law, civil practice in family law. And I've been pro se. I have never hired an attorney in my life except one. I hired Brad in Westfield, Massachusetts, to adopt my little girl, Monica. And he was like $1,000 or something. But I've never hired ever another attorney. And I have a resume. It's somewhere, and it's vetted. It's 7 pages. My resume is 7 pages, and it includes the law cases that I've been in. And I don't remember, and I don't have to remember. I'm 80 years old, and I'm just making documentation for myself. Whether other people look at it, I don't give a rat's ass. And in that 7 pages, I think there were more than 30. I think there were 33 cases, law cases having to do with school district, IEPs, and special education, and civil law, divorce law, and EEOC. I've never been with the DOJ yet. I've certainly been with civil law over and over again. And I've lost. I've lost. Twice. Now, the recent attorney that I got, I think with the Toro Corporation, look at my PACER system, in the Salt Lake PACER system in federal court. I had, I think his name is James Barnett, and he said, "Well, David, I noticed here that you're pro se, and you're taking on a $1 billion corporation, and we're one of the best law firms in Salt Lake City. Don't you think you need an attorney?" And I said, "Well, sir, the answer to your question is no. I don't think I need an attorney." And he said, "Well, man, that's pretty unusual. May I please ask you, why don't you want to hire an attorney?" And I said to him, "Because I like to win. Because I like to win." Most attorneys, the best that they can do most of the time is a 50-50 win. Most attorneys have more losses than they have success. So anyway, I'm making a long story long. I like to win. And other men and women, I've had some, in fact, I've got, with Toro right now, I've got the head of one of the law firms is a female. I like to win. I think outside the box. An attorney does not think outside the box. An attorney basically is subjected to an educational institutions that prohibit them from creativity. It basically, what they build, they've learned. They don't build anything they haven't learned. And I find that to be ignorant. I find that to be inappropriate. I find that to be kind of a monkey education. Now, you can't be a monkey and memorize all the case law, or not memorize, but be familiar with case law and landmark law and specialties in law, whether it's criminal, civil, whether it's agricultural, whether it's whatever. You can't memorize all of that, but they can teach you to go to Lexis, go to Westlaw, and look shit up. And if you've got any intelligence, and you can't pass the bar unless you have a reasonable amount of intelligence, ignorant people can't become attorneys. They're not smart enough. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you the goddamn truth. The IQ of, Americans, many of them might even fall into the 90% or 90 measurement. They can't pass law school. That's why there's not very many people who can pass law school. A lot of people can't afford it. God damn, it's not cheap. It's not cheap to go to law school, and you better spend at least 4 years of your life, and you've got to have a specialty, and you have a lot of debt when you come out, so you have to cheat people a lot to get that money back and pay for your Mercedes, your airplane, and your second house in Vermont, and your ski vacations in Utah. Anyway, I had to look at myself and say, David, what kind of a person do you have to be? Okay, number one, David, you have to be the kind of a human being that knows 99% that your client is a child molester. I'm sorry, I don't know if it's my old age or the subject matter these days that makes me become so emotional. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. Your client is a vicious, mean, hideous child molester. Your job is go to a judge and 12 people in the community and do as much lying, cheating, stealing, manipulation as you can to say, no, he's not a child molester. Please let him go back into society and hurt little children. I couldn't do that then, and I can't do it now. I had to be the kind of a person that a case comes to me that a man has lied, cheated, manipulated, ripped off the IRS and the American people, hiding money from the federal commission, the federal government. And I have to go to be in front of 12 people, do my research on how many people like him have gotten away, and say to 12 good citizens, good people, these are not people that are paid. They're people like me and you and my neighbor and my neighbor and my neighbor. They're just people that are sitting there that have some experience in life. Some are young, some are old, some are educated, some aren't. The reason we use 12 is because if you get one or two, you probably got one or two idiots. 12 of them listen to me and say, well, Maybe this man didn't lie, cheat, steal, and let's put him back in his job, his bank, put him back in an institution where he can be smarter. And he's going to repeat his behavior just like the child molester, but this time he's smarter because he's been through the American court system, and he may not get caught this time. I had to be the kind of a person that a car dealership would be sued, and they've taken advantage for years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years of Americans who just need transportation to get to work. They just need that paycheck to pay for their food, their housing, their necessities of life. And they don't know the cars. They don't know the financial system, financing, credit unions, commercial banks, whatever, cash. And the car dealership takes advantage of them. They lie, they cheat, and they steal their money. After the young couple has a brand new baby, and they're still paying for the baby to be born. And the father is getting out of bed every day at 4 o'clock in the morning and doing hard work to bring money home to his wife and to his new baby daughter. And this car company has hired people that are charismatic, that have a good personality. Usually they're attractive, male, female. And they train them in a system to lie, cheat, and steal this young couple's money. And after this young couple pays for the vehicle, finances it, etc., buys it, they're put into the finance department. And their job is to jack that payment up 20% and sell warranties that have all kinds of exclusions on them that the young couple, they don't know what an exclusion is. And of course, their engine blows up 6 months after they buy the car. They take it in and say, gee, the warranty should cover this. And then the car company says, no, that's an exclusion. You signed this piece of paper that is 6 pages long in very small print and has a lot of legal terms in it that you don't have any concept of, and you have no ability to understand, but you needed a car, so you signed it. Fuck you. Fuck you. I didn't want to be that kind of a person. I didn't want to be the kind of a person that I see now, the Mormon church going into these small communities, trying to put in huge temples with spirals that look like the Tower of Babel, and lighting systems that make it look like a used car lot at night. And these poor, innocent, simple people, just regular human beings, trying to make a living, say, well, gee, why don't you put that building in maybe a little bit smaller? It's kind of an eyesore. And gee, if you want it that big, why don't you just move it out of town a little bit? Your people have cars. They can drive to it. Can you put that piece of shit somewhere else? And the Mormon church goes, fuck you. And these innocent, humble, naive towns, Fairview, Texas. There's another one going on right now. I don't know. It's Louisiana somewhere. It's gone on over and over and over. The Mormon church goes, no, fuck all of you. We've got $300 billion. We can hire McConkie Law Firm. We can hire the new one that they got against me. It's better than McConkie. It's David Jordan. Take a look. He's my opposing counsel in my lawsuit against the Mormon church. I think he was Attorney General. He's got a resume, 4, 5, 8 pages long, and it's distinguishable, and it's certainly impressive. But it's not intimidating to me. It's not intimidating to me. Most attorneys don't know where the high ground is, and they certainly don't stand on the high ground. That is my only saving grace. Morally, these people are immoral. But let me get back to the reason I quit law school. I didn't want to defend car companies that are going to take advantage of families like that. I didn't want to take advantage of, I have now a 22-year-old daughter, Allison. And Allison came down not more than 2 or 3 months ago and basically said, gee, Dad, there's something I need to talk to you about. And I've told you on many of my videos, when your children come to you and say, gee, Dad, there's something I need to talk to you about, sit down, hold on to your wallet, and pray that it's not going to be the worst thing you ever heard. But anyway, she came down and said, Dad, I'm pregnant, and I'm not married. And then I said, okay. So anyway, she went for her exam, having a new pregnancy. I didn't want to be the kind of an attorney that would defend a healthcare system, a doctor, a hospital, that would turn a child down that is having a baby, that doesn't have insurance and doesn't have all of the money to do the ultrasounds, CAT scans, lab testing, etc. I didn't want to be an attorney that took advantage of power and money at the expense of normal little helpless, and sometimes people who aren't even normal. Your IQ may be 70, your IQ may be 65. I have a son who has an IQ of 51, 52, Aaron. So I looked at that hard in my mind, in my heart, in my mind, in my soul. And one of the things about being an attorney is you're taught that everyone under our Constitution here in the United States is innocent until proven guilty. The bail system is atrocious throughout the states, all the states of the United States. If you're rich and you're famous, I'm not going to say anything political. I'm not going to say anything political. If you're rich and you're powerful, you get out of jail. You can delay a civil case until it's so burdensome for the other party and so long for the other party that the normal human being just says, I give up. I give up. And if you've got the time and you've got the money, you've got the power. And the judicial system recognizes that, and you will lose. You will lose. I lost another case. I'm diverting a little bit. I lost another case. I lost two. One I lost in civil court in a divorce proceeding on custody. I did get custody of 5 of my children, and one of them was 8 months old. But I had another divorce hearing on another case that I was involved in. And the judge came to me after his decision against me and said, David, I have a lot of attorneys that have practiced in front of me, and I have to admit that what you presented here was outstanding. He said, I couldn't side with you. The law, you lost by law, not by the presentation, not by the argument, but the law required me to rule in a certain way. And I said, okay, so I lost that one. I lost one with EEOC. I put in as a discriminated person that I was terminated. I resigned, but I was terminated because I was bipolar. The evidence wasn't there, and I lost that case. I think the other 30, whatever it is, 32, I won. So everybody has to learn to lose now and then. But the reason I didn't hire an attorney for any of my cases is I don't want to lose. And my attorneys will not argue on moral grounds. An attorney will not argue on moral grounds. They are trained to argue on legal grounds. Well, I didn't think law school was for me. But I don't know now. Why have I had 32 cases? Why do I have God? Do you know how many pro se litigants can even last one day in a federal court? 1 day in a federal court. One case in a federal court. I don't have any secretaries. I don't have any paralegals. I don't have any offices all through my building here where I can go to another attorney and say, gee, I've got this problem, I've got that. Do you know anything about this? I don't have anybody that advises me. I have one person. I have one person that advises me. He's never wrong. He knows every law, everywhere, in every universe. He knows motivation. He's able to inspire, talk, show. I have one advisor. I now have been in federal court, I don't know, 3 months, who knows, 4 months. Shit. One day is like the other. I've got 3 cases. I've got the Toro Corporation, the car company. They're a $1 billion corporation. I've got my HOA association. They're as poor as a church mouse, stupid as a church mouse, but you know, they don't understand reasonable accommodations. They're getting a very expensive education. And I've got the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and that one is only 35 days old, whatever. And the church did not hire the McConkey law firm. McConkey has 174 attorneys, and not one of them was good enough to take my lawsuit on. Pro se, 80 years old, doesn't have a law degree, hasn't been in federal court, doesn't have, like David Jordan, my opposing counsel. He's been the Attorney General of Utah. He's been on every committee, every association. Again, like I said, his resume is 5 or 6 pages long, and it's impressive, but I've already said it, it's not intimidating. He's never been on the high ground that I've seen. So I did quit law school on my own. I wasn't kicked out. I didn't fail out. I still had money to pay the tuition. But I don't have to defend myself. That's not important in this particular video. But I want to have you hear overall. I don't speak as well as GPT-4. I don't speak as well as Gemini, Alexa, Siri. And now, oh my God, DeepSeek. She's not verbal yet. DeepSeek is going to be my best friend as soon as she quits speaking Chinese and starts speaking English. So anyway, I want you to listen to my feelings and my emotions on what I'm saying. Let's see.
Listening.
Play.
Play.
Play. Sorry.
Listening.
Play.
Play.
I had this all set up. I try not to be an idiot, but this is one of the times I have been.
Listening.
Start over. Play.
Start. Adding flag.
No. I'm sorry. Yeah, be patient with me. Siri, open speaking email. I try not to do this because your time is very expensive.
Completed. Unread email from you. Yesterday. Why I quit law school. Listening.
Play.
Play. To you. David Crossett. At a 0169 at yahoo.com. Why I Quit Law School. The Teachings of Jesus Christ, as recorded in the King James Version of the Bible and expanded upon in the Urantia book, reveal his deep skepticism toward lawyers and the legal systems of his time. His interactions with legal experts both in religious and secular contexts demonstrate a fundamental conflict between divine justice and the rigid, often self-serving systems of human law. This critique remains highly relevant today, particularly in institutions such as the Mormon Church, which employs attorneys at the highest levels to manage its auxiliaries, enforce policies, and defend institutional interests with elite law firms. This extensive legal framework stands in direct contrast to the principles of Christ, who rejected legalism, manipulation, and the pursuit of power through technicalities. At the heart of Krista Urtm's message was a rejection of the idea that law and morality were synonymous. The Pharisees and scribes, the legal authorities of his time, used the law as a tool for control, imposing burdens on the common people while exempting themselves from its moral weight. In Luke 11:46, Jesus openly rebukes them. Woe unto you also, ye lawyers, for ye lade men with burdens grievous to be borne, and ye yourselves touch not the burdens with one of your fingers. His criticism was not against law itself but against its misuse as an instrument of oppression rather than justice. Similarly, in Luke 10 verses 25 to 37, when a lawyer attempts to test him regarding eternal life, Jesus responds with the parable of the Good Samaritan, emphasizing that righteousness is not found in legal precision but in selfless compassion. The Roman legal system and the trial of Jesus, the ultimate demonstration of legal corruption, came during Jesus' own trial. After being betrayed and arrested, he was subjected to a series of illegal proceedings orchestrated by the Jewish Sanhedrin and rubber-stamped by the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. Under both Jewish and Roman law, the trial was a gross miscarriage of justice. It was held at night, relied on false witnesses, and denied Jesus any legitimate defense. Even Pilate, after hearing the case, declared, "We find no fault in this man." Luke 23:4. Yet, bowing to political pressure and mob rule, Pilate handed Jesus over to be crucified. The Urantia book, in paper 184, expands on the cowardice of Pilate, depicting him as an administrator who feared political consequences more than he valued truth. It describes how the entire legal system, Jewish and Roman alike, was manipulated to serve institutional interests rather than justice. Jesus' wrongful conviction and execution were not isolated injustices, they were the inevitable outcome of a legal system that prioritized power and control over divine righteousness. This betrayal hidden under the guise of justice reflects a timeless principle: the best way to betray someone is with a smile. The Pharisees and Pilate appeared outwardly composed, rational, and even conciliatory, but their actions masked their deeper intentions to destroy what they could not control. This principle has profound implications for modern law, where betrayal often wears the mask of professionalism, civility, and institutional respectability. The modern parallel: corruption in religious and secular law. This pattern of legal manipulation is not confined to the past. Today, institutions such as the Mormon Church have embedded attorneys at the core of their governance, prioritizing legal defense over moral accountability. Rather than following Krista Urtm's call for truth and humility, the Church employs vast legal resources to protect its financial interests, control dissent, and maintain its institutional authority. This reliance on legalism over spiritual integrity mirrors the very practices that Christ condemned in the Pharisees and Roman authorities. Beyond religious institutions, modern legal systems, including the United States judicial system, continue to operate within frameworks that often contradict Krista Urtm's teachings. Courts function on principles of adversarial competition, where success is dictated by wealth, influence, and procedural technicalities rather than genuine justice. The profession of law, as it exists today, remains largely incompatible with the ideals Jesus taught, prioritizing power, control, and self-preservation over the selfless love and righteousness he embodied. The higher law, giving your cloak also. Jesus did not merely criticize legal systems, he offered an alternative vision of justice rooted in love and humility. One of his most radical statements regarding law appears in Matthew 5:40, "And if any man will sue thee at the law, and take away thy coat, Let him have thy cloak also, or this principle directly challenges the foundation of legalistic thinking. Rather than engaging in an endless battle of rights, ownership, and retribution, Christ calls for radical generosity, demonstrating that divine justice is not about winning or losing but about transcending the entire system of legal contention. The Urantia book echoes this sentiment, portraying Jesus as consistently rejecting the pursuit of legalistic self-defense. Instead, he teaches that true justice is found in selfless service and moral courage, not in seeking legal victories. This is why, when faced with wrongful accusations, Jesus remained silent before his accusers. He understood that human justice was often an illusion, one that distracted from the higher law of love, forgiveness, and divine truth. Why I quit law school. Understanding these principles made it impossible for me to continue down the path of legalism. Law, in its current form, is not designed to promote truth but to navigate power structures. The system is built to serve those who know how to manipulate it, just as it did in the time of Jesus. The idea that justice can be bought, that the best lawyer wins, and that institutions prioritize their legal standing over moral responsibility is fundamentally opposed to Krista URTM's teachings. Yet my personal philosophy complicates this choice. I don't URTMT like to lose, but I hate to win. Winning, especially in legal battles, often comes at the expense of moral truth. It demands playing the game of contention and manipulation your methods that violate the principles of love, mercy, and humility taught by Christ. Jesus did not place his faith in the courts of men. He did not argue his innocence before Pilate or seek legal representation. He stood for truth, even as human justice condemned him to die. His words about lawyers, his wrongful conviction, and his radical call to reject legalistic thinking make it clear. True righteousness cannot be found in the courtroom. For these reasons, I left law school. I could not reconcile the principles of Christ with a profession that thrives on contention, exploitation, and procedural gamesmanship. The world of law and litigation stands in stark contrast to the higher law that Jesus lived and died for, the law of love, mercy, and spiritual truth. And that is a law no earthly courtroom will ever uphold. Sent from Yahoo Mail for iPhone. End of email. Listening.
Well, GPT says it so much better. She says it so much better than I can say it. Hey Siri, stop my alarm. So anyway, let me end this particular video. Why I quit law school. GPT says it so much better than I can say it. But I cannot do what most attorneys do. I have probably been in court more than most attorneys. I don't know. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But I've always gone in on the high moral ground. And I don't know, statistically, if you've got 33 cases and you've lost 2 of them, is that a good number? Is that a good number of winning? Am I that smart? No. Oh, shit. I'm not that smart. But I have one advisor, not in any of the offices down the road here, not in anybody that I can call on the phone, not anybody that basically is going to advise me. I sit and I think. And my legal counsel, which is the best ever created, will say to me, partial summary judgment. What the hell is a partial summary judgment? Say, motion to dismiss jurisdiction, procedural. What the hell is that? I don't know what the fuck that shit is. Whisper to me, timing, do this, do that. Will whisper to me, church office building. I'm going to serve the Mormon church in the 50, I think it's east. I don't know if it's 50 east or west temple, in their own office building. Yeah. But doesn't a corporation have a, in the articles of incorporation, don't they name a person to accept legal service? Yes. I go, well, I don't know who that person is. Yes. I can't find out who that person is. Yes. McConkey Law Firm won't even tell me who that person is. Yes. 50 East Temple. Go give it to the secretary. Well, you want me to put together a lawsuit and walk into a $300 billion corporation visitor center and hand a lawsuit for a couple of $1 million or several $1 million, over $100 million. I don't even remember what the number, but take a look. It's 6666.66. It's a coincidental number. Don't take that to heart. And just walk in there and put it down on the desk of the secretary. Yes. Well, my advisor's never been wrong. I always think he's wrong. I always second guess him. I always go, God, I don't know shit on this stuff. What do I do? I'll put it on the desk. So I went. I have videos on this. I've got one that's AI you can look at. And put it on the desk. And I said, I didn't say, my process server said, legal papers. Legal papers. And we immediately left. We didn't want any contention. We immediately left. And the security guard there, in a suit and a tie, of course, that's the uniform of a Mormon security guard, a returned missionary, chased us out of the damn office building on 50 West Temple Street there in Salt Lake City, and was screaming at us. And my server was scared to death. He goes, David, he's really... I said, just put it on the desk. That's what my counselor, my legal advisor said, put it on the desk. And we did. And I was in a wheelchair, and the security guard chased us all the way up the ramp of the security ramp there at the church office building in Salt Lake City, and kept screaming, we're not going to accept this. You can't do this. This is not acceptable, etc. And I kept saying, God, in the back of my mind, have I done something stupid here? Did I not hear my legal advisor correctly? Am I just being an asshole? And when we got to the top of the ramp, you look at the video. Look at the video. The security guard took the whatever it was, 50 or 80-page lawsuit, federal lawsuit that's been filed, and tore it up and threw it in the trash can at the top of the handicap ramp. And of course, my process server went berserk. He said, "My God, David, he threw it in the trash. They're not going to do anything. They're not served. We've wasted our time." And I said, "Well, maybe we have, maybe we haven't." And I guess I felt a little bit like Moses looking at the Red Sea and seeing the Egyptian army closing in on my people, and I'm backed up with the Red Sea, and